What up, though? What up, though? Coney Island Chronicle, baby, with your man, Antonio, Detroit's finest. Back in the day, like 90, 91, I stayed right here. You know what I'm saying? I duck off because this was still kind of like mixed a little bit with white and black. And I moved down here, and my house sat way in the back. So I would have to drive up here. The nice little house sat in the back. You know, it's gone now. But I probably was about 17, you know what I mean? And there was a school right across the street from me. And I used to be like, dang, maybe one day my kids go to the school that was across the street. So we back on this blight again, you know, because this on East Line though, and Waverly. So when I stayed down here, I used to dip off from Snake Alley down on the boulevard, come down here, you know, relax my mind and get my thoughts together and everything, take care of my family the best way I knew how. Everything was furnished and everything. Had a good little situation going on. Kids had a little active school across the street, but, you know, time has done it again to it. And I don't even remember the name of this school, but this school is a little worse than the one not too far from here, because it got all these entrances where you can just basically go up in this. Terrible. Then you look across the street and look around. Everything is just empty. You know, empty like a mug. And this is like dangerous once again to any community, any environment, you know. Look, wide open, the whole ceiling, wide open up in that mug. Like it can't be nothing but hazardous materials floating around and up in there. But this blight in Detroit is serious, you know. And you might want to consider how you gonna do your voting this year for mayors, and especially for the governor's race, you know, because this is what it's looking like in Detroit with the public schools. Like, and this just one side of it. So we're going to walk around on the other side and see how much damage it really is that's just sitting in the neighborhood, tearing down the community's value. But this is dangerous. And like I say, Coney Island Chronicle, baby, I'm going to be on it. So look at this. Look at this hazardous stuff. You got to walk through all these bushes just to get to the door. Like, this is crazy. Look at this. Look what I'm standing in just to get to the door. Like, this crazy. And then they got everything with these little black boards on it. Yeah, look at this. This mug is toe up. Detroit, we gotta do better. We can't just keep letting this stuff just sit in our neighborhoods. And then when it start, the bushes and stuff start growing, it's gonna look like the trees swallowing it up. But as you can see, it's wide open for the public. Like, it just ain't right, you know? This is terrible. And like I say, I really thought that somewhere along the line I would have my kids going to this school eventually. But unfortunately, you know, I messed around and got caught up. But look at this. Look at this. And I lie to you not, this was an active school. Very active. Children coming outside playing. Look at this. Wow. Would you want to come out and look at this in your neighborhood? Like, would you really? Now I'm walking around to the other side because all of this is hazardous. It's just look a mess. Look at it. I know we worth better than this. I know we is. I know we worth better than this, Detroit. Like I say, blight ain't right, whether it's a house, residential, commercial, or even a big old school or a church or whatever, because anything can be in there. Missing person can be in there. Who's to say what is actually in this building? Nobody really know. Nobody really never know. Hopefully nothing is in here though, but this really is terrible. For nothing to be in here or anything. It's sad. And look at the street. Empty as a mug. Empty as a mug. Empty. And they say education ain't necessary. Man. You need something, because look at this. Look. You need that education. You know, I don't know what happened to the teachers and the principals and all that was up in here, but somewhere along the line, it failed the whole community, even itself. Maybe the educators wasn't all that educated. Because this is not something that should be done in no neighborhood, especially when it's concerning the future of the babies that's supposed to be the next principals, teachers, counselors, rooms, food stewardess, security, or whatever else. Terrible. So you got to go to the table and talk with your people and really wonder, how can this change? What can be done to change this? The house I stayed in, gone. The house next to it, gone. The house next to it, gone. The school, gone. This whole little area, empty. But you probably moved across 8 Mile. But you grew up over here. And you abandoning home. Home is just where it is, but we need to vote better. Coney Island Chronicle, baby. Think about it, you know. Real substance, real things going on. Education is a must. A fool is one that's not trying to search for some type of knowledge to enhance his livelihood. So, you know, this right here is the effect of what's probably happening in the prison systems. These are gone, prisons are built. Coney Island Chronicle. Real deal, real substance. Peace, like, comment, subscribe. Detroit. We got to do better, because the dream just is not working. Peace. School. Blight just ain't right. If it happened to the house, this got to happen to it too. Demo 313 Coney Island Chronicle, Detroit schools, blight hazards to the community.